They're used to, I think, having some freedoms, and they were not afraid of going into it. Once I understood the rules of the road, so to speak, they were good with jumping in. I think one of the challenges we found with putting the aleatoric section together was just, I didn't quite understand what the composer was going for at first. And so I think after some conversation with her, she was clear with me about, no, this is exactly what I mean. Oh, okay. So what we ended up doing was we divided my band is, I think, just about 70 this year. So we ended up picking, and this was rehearsal with Tawnie. She came in and we worked this out together. We picked a few people, I think 4 or 5 that were our initial poppers. And then we divided the rest of the band into groups of 4. So we would bring them in a quarter at a time. And so we could really get that sense of, the popcorn was starting and then group 1 and group 2. And we added them rather quickly, pulled the full group up. So they were popping like crazy. Percussion had free reign over instruments they could pick as long as they made short sounds. So no crash cymbals. We could do choked cymbals, but she wanted real crisp, rhythmic instruments in the back. And then as we pulled them down, we had to get the spacing further and further away, which was a challenge because once they were moving, they're like, we're making popcorn. And they didn't quite want to come back. So we had to really rehearse actually the end of K going into the end of the piece to get that, and then the transition back into metered time to make sure we got the last kernel being the bari sax. That took a little bit of finesse, and my timing had to change each time because they were playing different. They were playing differently each time, so I was like, all right, are they done? Was that the last pop? Okay, here we go. So it was a little bit of it was fun for me actually because I didn't quite know each time what I was going to get, and it depended on what mood they were in and how concentrating, how much concentration they were bringing in. But that was our strategy for it, and I would imagine if you had a smaller band, you could divide into less groups, or a bigger band, you could divide into even more groups and really stretch that out because they definitely love that part of the piece.